We have an examination taken by some presumed students, and you have this kind of mass failure. Even when you look at the teachers themselves, the quality of teachers that we have, you now begin to ask ourselves whether we don't have some fundamental problem with us. So what we really have is what we call a systemic failure, total systemic failure that needs overhauling and surgery. Without that, I think there's no way we will be able to reverse the decay.
Haven't we all been paying lip service to this? Because, I mean, here we are, parents, for instance. We did ask the previous professor. She said, listen, parents are all involved in running around trying to meet up with the day's responsibilities and such that when schools have got these open days, parents don't even go.
Look, Chamberlain, the first thing we should understand is what's our value system. What do we classify as the basic value, our national value? Do we value education? The way we value the oil industry, do we value education? Because let's begin to match salaries. You just look at this kind of example. JAM. Students want to go and sit for JAM to get into the university. Total score 400. Then those who will read engineering, medicine, and all the rest we call professional courses will be students who get between 280 and 800. And those that will go and read education with those that will get 150. I ask you a question. Those that go 150, what will the impact on those children?
So in other words, we have created a system whereby those never do well in such qualifying examinations are pushed to go read education, and these are the same set of people who turn out
to now teach these children that we expose them to.
Is that what it is?
Yes, that is actually what it is. But if we begin to pay what I call the living wage, match it, because I can assure you that some of these engineers who are hanging, because I agree that to be a teacher, there's some amount of grace and gift in it. But beyond that, there is supposed to be competence and ability.
To be a teacher?
Yes, to be a teacher, there should be competence and ability. I remember in the 70s, even in the drama, let's look at that drama, The Village Headmaster. Look at Ife Araba in that drama. Look at the role he played in that society that they were trying to portray on television called Oja. Look at today, the village headmaster, the headmaster of today. What role is he playing in our society? How do we rate him? How do we see him? Don't we see the headmaster as somebody that, a parent who thinks, in quote, that he has made it, will walk into his office, lambaste him, and tell him whatever I want, and walk in there and say, I can sack him. So you see, we have a systemic and a fundamental problem. Till we first of all address the welfare package, the salary structure of the educational system, then it will not attract what I call the eggheads, those who are intelligent.
Okay. If you attract the eggheads, but you do not have the infrastructure they need to work,
you start from the attraction. That's why you call them eggheads. That's why you call them eggheads. Because for you to be an egghead, the first thing that comes to your mind is how do you deliver. Innovation and methodology is what defines you as an egghead.
But speaking of which, comment on this if you will also. Before ASU went on strike in 1992, the government had always talked about this turnaround maintenance with the oil sector.
Yeah.
We had engineering graduates who have lots of fantastic faculties in our institutions here, but we don't have the capability still to do that because they always have to go get some people from outside the country to come in and do it here. So it looks as if this lip service has been on for a long time.
Yes, that's why I told you that it is the value system.
So this
we value mediocrity in every aspect of our social life, of our national life. We just have mediocres everywhere. People who are incapable of delivering, they now want to dress themselves as experts in different fields.
Have you been to any of the schools lately?
Yes, many. Because you see, first of all, I am the president of. I founded the Schools Chairs Development Committee because I realized that fundamentally the kind of people that were being turned out in school were defective. And I knew one thing, that chess was something I could promote to reverse some of this ugly trend. So I did a survey, questionnaire, and I sent it to many schools that they should fill. I can assure you 80% of the schools refused to fill it. Because if they had filled that questionnaire, their backside would have been open. That they actually are just empty vessels. But some did. And with that, we started a chess program. And gradually, we started going into the schools. And then it was at that point I now realized it was a sorry state.
But what kind of questions would they refuse just to fill? It's just a survey.
It's just a survey. It's just a survey to tell us how we can help you.
I mean, you were not going to expose.
We are not going to. We're not going to use even the data collected. You understand? For any other function other than seeing how we can help you.
Has there been any kind of brain drain in that sector? And if any, how
in the educational sector?
Yes.
Brain drain. Let us, at the professorial level, let us agree. That's at the tertiary level. Let us agree we've experienced lots and lots of brain drain. But you see, the focus should not be at the tertiary level. It is the foundation. At the primary level and at the secondary level.
Okay.
You go and go and do simple exam. Do a simple exam for some of the teachers teaching in the secondary schools, the primary school, and even the principals. You will be surprised that many of them are as empty as the students that they are teaching.
Mr. Idada, we appear to be in a situation here, in the street. First of all, you said the foundation is messed up.
Yeah.
Our last guest talked about the leadership not telling themselves the truth. And everybody agrees that tomorrow is bleak because of where we are. It's obvious that nobody wants to teach anymore. So the students going to school are just having more like recycling. These days you find a secondary school graduate going back to go and teach and all that just to make ends meet. How did we get here? What do we do? How do we get out of here?
We missed it when we changed our value system. Please, that is the truth.
Okay, can we break it down?
The value
changing
system,
value system.
As a chess player, there's something they teach you in chess: the value of a piece. The value of a piece. How do you measure the importance of a piece on a chessboard? And that is the same thing I want to ask. How do you measure the importance of every sector in our economy to the overall performance of our economy? That is the value system. Why is it that the government is paying lip service to... Look, if the teachers today choose to go on strike for the next 50 years, I can assure you most of those in political position in this country will go home, go sleep and drink champagne. But let those in the oil sector say they want to go on strike for just 1 week. You see everybody running around looking for a way to what? Because we have something wrong with our value system. In the 70s, how many smart heads will actually want to go and work in the oil sector? How many of them? How many smart heads want to work in the oil sector? How many smart heads want to work in the bank?